So in a very interesting free agency move, it looks like Brittany Griner is no longer guaranteed to go back to the Phoenix Mercury, which, to be honest, could change quite a bit. Because it means that, everybody out here has been talking about whether or not Taurasi is going to retire. And look, if there is no way that Brittany Griner is going to be there or gone if Taurasi's there. The likelihood is, for Mercury fans, is that Taurasi and Brittany Griner are both not going to be on the team next season. Because if Brittany Griner's, if she's out here saying that she's testing free agency and that she's having meetings starting Tuesday with multiple teams, then surely she's not going to be just guaranteed back. It's the first time she's tested free agency. Like, it says here, she's been a free agent but always re-signed with Phoenix since she was drafted in 2013. I want to show off my skills free agency. Griner said of playing in a new league, which seems to be more dominated by guards and wings and post players. There's a ton of free agents here. And like from Steward, it's kind of like a one-stop shop for everything. There's conversations. Everybody's like, hey, you want to come play here, said Vandersloot, who has meetings this week with multiple teams. I think it's great. Gives the opportunity to like real honest feedback with teams and say who wants to play with each other. At the time, we're at a time in the league, there's going to be a lot of player movement. So, Brittany Griner is such an interesting player to have for just in general in the WNBA because she's simultaneously depending on the team. So, like, he had her as the 5th ranked free agent. I wouldn't put her 5. The concept of Aaliyah Boston and Brittany Griner fighting all offseason just to end up as teammates. There is a 0% chance. WNBA executives were in Miami for the opening of Unrivaled to talk with Griner and other free agents. Like, that's a big one. BG testing the market through free agency conversations for teams in their tizzy. A lot of free agents are going to be so tricky and wobbies of what's coming in 2026. Don't see Brittany Griner coming to Chicago, but where do y'all see her fitting? Imagine if they went with the triple bigs. Imagine if they said, you know what? Imagine if, the way Angel Reese's fans are all talking about how she was a point guard in high school, about how, she's a point guard. Imagine if they just said, you know what, Angel, we know you were a point guard when you were, and if you've actually looked at like ESPN stuff, she played point guard when she was like 13. We know you were a point guard when you were 13 years old. Angel, you're point guard. We're going with Brittany Griner, and we're going to go with Camila Cardoso. Cardoso center, Griner power forward. We're going huge. Makes me think Taurasi's going to retire. Please, Chicago Sky. That's the dumbest thing. The fever they need Twin Towers. No. Like, there are 2 teams she should go to. It's the Minnesota Lynx and it's the Las Vegas Aces. The Aces can play her because she can play with Aja. Aja can play at the 4. The Aces, if she's going to leave the Mercury, it should be either to the Las Vegas Aces or it should be to the Minnesota Lynx. I think the Lynx would be a really smart one for her because Nafisa Collier does most of the work. She'll only need to play 25 minutes a game because you've got Alana Smith there. Like, you can start off with, like, obviously Xander Lassini's gone and they had their starting 5 with like Kayla McBride, Bridget Carlton. You go back to bringing Bridget Carlton off the bench. You can play Fee Collier. You can start Fee Collier at the 3. And then most of the game you can have kind of her and Alana Smith on together and then you can stagger them and you go back to bringing Carlton off the bench, probably playing starter minutes though. And then maybe you run a bit of, honestly, if you're with that lineup, you could run a bit of point guard Fee, I think. I think you can run a little bit of her at the point. You can maybe try to run a Bridget Carlton a bit at the 1. Get Kayla McBride, maybe see if she can run the 1 a bit. And that kind of shores up the offense a little bit. Because you don't need a true point guard with this team. So much of their offense is passing and cutting and moving. And I think Fee at the 1 could work, surprisingly. Imagine going out there with a lineup of Fee at the 1, Bridget Carlton, Kayla McBride, Alana Smith, and Brittany Griner. Like, it's a serious team. And then with the Aces, with the way the Aces play and everything, I think she'll be fine. I do think with Aja Wilson, there will be a little bit, like, Aja Wilson's not going to have her MVP 20 or unanimous MVP 27 point per game season with Brittany Griner in the paint. Like, it's going to be tough for that. And they're going to be very reliant on Asia Wilson's defense. Because like Brittany Griner, as good as a shot blocker she is, she doesn't defend in space like Kia Stokes does. So it's going to be a different one. But like she is a huge upgrade over Kia Stokes on the offensive end. She's a huge upgrade over what's her name, Meg Gustafson as well. So basically it just means that you've got someone there who can put the ball in the basket. Especially if you lose Kelsey Plum, you're going to like you're one or two pieces away from being a title contender. Like if you keep Kelsey Plum, you are one splash away. And like I think Brittany Griner could be that splash free agency sign that puts the Aces back into contention. But I still think she's probably going to stay in the Mercury. I think it makes the most sense. They'll pay her. Maddie Spiel will give her the Supermax. I don't think there's a scenario. Well, I don't think there's a scenario. I don't think there's a scenario where it's more likely than not that she ends up leaving Phoenix. I still think Phoenix is the best spot for her. If they can shore up the depth a little bit. Like if they can't shore up the depth and she just wants to maybe go and try ring chase for a year, yeah, go and leave Phoenix, because I don't see the Phoenix Suns, or not the Phoenix Suns, Jesus, the Phoenix Mercury really competing for a championship this year. Like I could potentially see the Phoenix Mercury becoming the retirement home, a little bit like the Phoenix Suns are becoming in the NBA, because Matt Ishbia just likes his aging superstars. But that would be my prediction. Like teams that make no sense for her, the Fever, like no sense whatsoever. Like if the Fever sign Brittany Griner, the slowest big in the league, to play beside the like second slowest starting big in the league. Like the slowest starting big in the league was Brittany Griner last year. The second slowest might have been Aaliyah Boston. I'm trying to think like of the teams. Ezzy Magbagor, she was fast, she was slower than. Then obviously Alana Smith, and yeah, Aaliyah Boston probably the second slowest of the starting centers. No, Dolson. But still, one of the slower starting centers. And I'm putting her beside Brittany Griner. This current modern day version of Griner. Not the old Griner, like the modern Griner. That would make no sense. Obviously, the Sky makes no sense. The Mystics make no sense. They're trying to tank. The Valkyries, maybe she could be there. The Valkyries are going to make one splash in free agency, and maybe Brittany Griner could be the splash that the Valkyries make, but I don't see her wanting to go to LA. Like, I don't think Brittany Griner is the type of the influencer or celebrity that would benefit from being in LA. So I don't really see that happening. Sparks, no. Like the Dream, maybe. But I think pretty sure the Dream coach. Am I right in saying whoever the Dream coach came in is like known for running? But yeah, it's a real interesting one to see, because Brittany Griner to somewhere like the Aces or the Minnesota Lynx really could shake up the entire WNBA season. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.